Welcome to the Yorkshire Dales, everybody, and welcome to the channel. As you can see, I'm excited because we have some clear skies and we have sunshine, which, you know, has been a blessing because we've had so much rain recently and it's kept me indoors a little bit, which is a bit disappointing. Now, I ventured over to Malham Cove. It's about an hour and 10 minutes away from where I live, and I've never actually been here, so I'm pretty excited to just have an explore and see what I can find. But it is a school holiday, so it's quite busy. I didn't expect that many people to be here, but as soon as I drove down, there was just car after car after car parked on the road. So I was like, no, there's going to be loads of people here. And as soon as I walked in, there was just people everywhere. Now, I am hoping we might get a decent sunset tonight. The weather forecast predicts good weather. And I'm looking at the sky and it's got a nice mixture of clear patches and a few bits of cloud. So it's very promising. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scout around and explore and see if I can find any compositions. There's a couple of places that I've seen online that look like they're really, really cool. Like there's just the limestone like pathways with all these intricate cracks in them. So I'm looking for that. I have no idea where it is. So I'm just going to venture around. And then hopefully, as the light starts to fade, obviously people will start to go home because they can't see in the dark. I brought my head torch, very clever. And then I'm just going to scout around and see if I can find anything further down where the river is and where the big gorge is, because there's these big limestone cliffs, so they look pretty cool. And then if you're into climbing as well, there's supposed to be some really good routes here, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to scout around, see what I can find, and then yeah, hopefully might find some decent compositions. So yeah, it could be an interesting one today, and yeah, it's just good to be back outside and back in nature. I'm back where I belong, in Yorkshire. Now, I'm absolutely loving these limestone cliffs. It proper reminds me like of those scenes from Lord of the Rings, you know, Rohan. It just has that vibe about it, and yeah, I'm getting that really fantasy vibe about it. It's really making me excited, so I'm hoping that I can find some compositions here because it's quite inspiring. It's a unique look. It kind of looks bleak as well as being quite fantasy-esque as well. I mean, they did shoot a scene from Harry Potter, I believe, here. I don't really watch Harry Potter, it's not my jam. Lord of the Rings is my jam. So like I said, I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for, so I'm just scouring around on the top section above Malham Cove. Now it is pretty bleak and moorlandy up here, but I am aware of these limestone like pathways that basically go on and have these cracks in them. So I think I know where they are. I've been looking at my map, but my signal keeps going. I'm heading there now in hope that I'll find a subject. Otherwise it's going to be a very boring video of me traipsing around on the moorlands looking like a complete plonker. And I definitely brought the wrong clothing today, but never fear, I'm sure I'll find something shortly. So I seem to have found those rocks that I'm after. Now these rocks are really cool because they're really contrasty. You've got the whiteness of the limestone breaking through, but then you've got all these cracks. They're quite dark, so they make really interesting patterns, but I'm looking for a unique subject. Hopefully a tree, because I've seen something similar online, so I'm kind of looking for that to see if I can photograph it myself. So you get these lines that create leading lines that lead up to a subject, which will hopefully be a tree, and then when the sunset starts to come into play, it'll cast like a really nice orange glow on the rocks, and it should make for a really unique, nice composition and picture. But this place on a whole is just really cool. It reminds me of Lord of the Rings. It reminds me particularly of Rohan and that scene where they're being chased, or they're chasing the orcs, the Uruk-hai, and it reminds me of that. It's got that vibe about it, and I think that's what I really enjoy about photography and exploring. I like to go to places that inspired other fantasy locations. That's why I get so excited about it, because I love fantasy stuff, I love sci-fi stuff. So when I go to places and I see places, I'm like, that's where they got the inspiration from. It gets me dead excited. When I was in India, I came across this really cool place. I can't remember what it was called, but it reminded me of Marrakech from Skyrim, and it was identical. It was like a city carved out of stone, and it was so cool. And I was just like, this is where they came. This is where they got their inspiration from. So that's a part of photography I really like. It's just the exploration. It's getting out in nature and finding these really cool, unique places that just, you know, inspire your imagination and your creativity. That's why it's fun to be out, and that's why it's fun to get out and explore and do photography, because you get to create these worlds in your head and you get to then recreate them as an image, and you get to share that with everybody. And you know, some people get it, some people don't, but that's all part of it. It's good fun. Now I have found a subject at last, but I'm not sure whether or not it's exactly what I was after. I think I've got a little bit complacent because I was looking for a particular subject, and I think I've been bypassing potential photographic opportunities, because I think once you get something in your head, you become very single-minded, and like you're looking for a particular thing, and I think you just tend to just walk past opportunities. So I've been trying to find this tree that's on these limestone pathways with the cracks leading up to it, and I just haven't found one, and now I'm losing the light. But I have found this really cool looking tree that's kind of broken off the side of these two rocks things here, and it's really cool. It's gnarly, it's right up my street, but I can't seem to find a composition that works. I have got something set up, and the light's not great, so I'm umming and ahhing. I can see another tree in the distance, so I'm like, do I stay or do I just venture over there? I could use the drone, but I'll show you what I'm looking at. It's really cool. It's broken off here. It's actually got some broken branches, but you've got this rock that's obviously split, where it's obviously grown out, and it's obviously pushed this off. So it is a really cool subject, and I'm just waiting for the light to come through, but I'm not sure whether or not we will get the light that I'm hoping for. And if it does, you know, it might create some nice colours, but I've got to remain optimistic. But then there's the tree in the distance all the way over there. I'm going to show you. You can just see it's just peeking over the top, and I'm debating whether or not to venture over there. But it hasn't been a very successful day photography wise. Well, looks like I'm waiting then. I guess this is going to be my subject. I took the drone up to see if I could see anything close by, and there just doesn't seem to be anything that I'm after. So this is my subject for the late afternoon. I'm now waiting for the sun to set. I've got about half an hour, 40 minutes. It's getting a bit cold as well, so. But I'll wait. Hopefully it'll be worth it. It is an interesting character, this tree, and I really like tree. I like woodland photography, so it's like a bleak tree on its own. So hopefully I'll get that golden light that I'm praying for. It's gone a little bit overcast, but fingers crossed I'll get that nice light breaking through, and we'll get a nice sunset, and I'll be able to do something with this image. Now I actually changed the composition on this. The shot that I was taking didn't seem to work, so I walked around a little bit more, and I took this handheld, and I actually really like the outcome of this shot, because it really reminds me of some kind of creature escaping from the rock face. Well, I'm feeling really frustrated because the light just went super flat, and over there it looks absolutely amazing, yet here where the tree is, flat. So I feel so frustrated because I'm sat here waiting and there's just no light. So I've packed the camera up and I'm going to head back down to the car because it's just been one of those frustrating afternoons. Like, it's been good to get out and obviously I got the sunshine, but I've just really struggled to find a subject, which is, it can be so frustrating because the sky over there looks absolutely beautiful, yet on this side I just don't have anything. It's so frustrating, but that's the way it is sometimes. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Now, I have come back to Malham Cove after leaving the other day feeling so frustrated and so disheartened because I didn't find the subject that I was looking for, and I also got blinkers on. I think I got so focused trying to find that one subject that I neglected to look for anything else. You know, there were compositions and photographic opportunities passing me left, right and centre, but I just wasn't focusing on them, and I was just so determined to find this tree that I just missed those opportunities. And when I got home that day, I felt so frustrated because I didn't have any images that I was happy with, and I felt like I'd wasted the day, and I wasn't happy with the filming that I got, and I was just so frustrated. But lo and behold, 2 days later, we have got glorious sunshine, and I have found the lonely tree of Malham. I went on the internet and I located it, and I was like, right, I'm coming back here. I'm determined to find it. So I've got here quite early, so it gives me plenty of time. In fact, I've got here super early, so I'm going to go for a bit of an adventure and a bit of meander down to Gordale Scar, I believe it's called. I'm going to have a little mooch around there, see if I can find any compositions and just, you know, have a bit of an adventure. Then I'll come back up here later in the afternoon and get a really nice composition, and fingers crossed when that sun starts to set there'll be some nice golden light casting along those limestone pathways and cracks leading onto the tree, and hopefully I'll be able to get an image that I'm happy with. So yeah, stick with me and we'll adventure a little bit more around Malham Cove. Come down into the bottom of Gordale Scar, and behind me is this absolutely beautiful waterfall. It is stunning here. I can't get over how amazing it is. What an absolutely beautiful place, but the sun's a bit too bright at the minute, so I'm not going to spend any time photographing. There's loads of people here at the minute, so I look like a bit of an idiot. So I'm going to continue on my merry adventures and see what else I can find. You can see that, but to me that looks like there's a face there. This place is so cool. Absolutely beautiful. Now I've come back to where the tree is and the sun is starting to fade a little bit, but I've got a slight issue with the sun setting where it is. there's actually a hill in the way, so I do fear that by the time it sets to the point where it's going to cast a really nice glow, it's going to be behind this hill and it's not going to cast that golden light. So I've taken a couple of images already. I'll flash them up in a sec, but yeah, I underestimated exactly where the sun was setting, but at least I've managed to get back here. I found the tree, I've taken a couple of images, and I'm going to just see if I can get any more compositions. Because the light was still bright and it's still quite harsh, I opted to go for a black and white image which really amplified the contrast of the light and the dark. So I'm taking multiple images so that I can make it super sharp front to back. So I've got a little 2-second timer on there to get rid of any small camera shakes when I touch the back of the screen. Luckily I can touch the back of the screen and aim where I want it to focus on, and then it just gives that little 2-second timer. And what I'll do is I'll stack those images together in Photoshop and I can blend them so that I get sharp rocks at the front all the way through to the back. Sometimes a simple composition works best. There's not a lot going on in this image, but the leading lines direct you straight to the tree, and there's an element of peacefulness in this image. Now the light's just faded past the horizon line, it's just dipped behind that hill, but we're now getting some really soft light, and I'm really liking it, and I'm feeling quite optimistic, and we've got some clouds forming. I'll just show you. Just here and here. So as that sun settles and just gets lower and lower and lower, it'll aim up and hit these clouds. So fingers crossed they may stay and form a really nice textured background for my subject, which is this tree. So I've got my camera set up looking directly down. I've used my widest lens that I've got, which is my 20mm. I don't have anything wider than that, but it's still creating quite a nice image. So I've got all these leading lines, all these cracks that lead down to the tree on its own. There's something quite strange about how lonely this tree is. When I look at this image, I see that life finds a way, and I find some kind of peace in that. I think it's quite easy to get distracted when you're doing photography, especially if you're looking for something specific. I think if you aim to go out and photograph a specific subject, 9 times out of 10 it'll probably not go the way you were hoping. I think I've learned quite a bit from doing this little venture up to the Yorkshire Dales. I don't think I was very present in my mind, because I think I was just rushing around and looking for this tree, and obviously I was completely in the wrong place, and I missed so many opportunities, and I got a little bit flustered and a little bit stressed out and a little bit agitated by the whole situation. And the whole point about doing this kind of thing is to be present and to be happy and to be, in enjoyment. It's a hobby. It's an amazing thing to do, to get out and be in these kind of places. So I've learned that it's not always about finding a specific subject. It's great if you can, but don't be too hyper focused, because you miss so many other opportunities. Like I missed so many opportunities trying to find this tree, and I got a little bit frustrated with myself because, the other day I didn't get any images that I was happy with, but it doesn't matter about that. It's all about the adventure, it's all about the journey, it's all about being out in this kind of environment and enjoying yourself. So yeah, I've learned some valuable lessons on this one. I'm trying not to break my leg whilst I do this, and this subject, it's an interesting character, but I haven't had the light today. It hasn't gone quite the way I would have liked. I'm still happy with some of the images I've taken of it. So yeah, I think in the end it's all about not missing other opportunities by being too hyper focused or having blinkers on when you're trying to do photography. Get out, enjoy yourself, be in this environment, because that's the main thing. And also, on another note, Yorkshire Dales, it's alright, isn't it? It's alright, Yorkshire Dales. It's not too bad, not too shabby. So anyway, I am going to wrap the video up because I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to stay here. I'm tempted to do a bit of astrophotography, but we'll see. But yeah, I will wrap the video up. If you do enjoy the content, please hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate it very much. And if you want to see more of my ramblings, more of my shenanigans and mishaps and all these kind of things that I get up to, then please hit the subscribe button. It will notify you every time there is a new video coming out. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everyone's time, watching my videos. yeah, there's quite a few people subscribed now. It's an interesting one, it's growing. So yeah, I very much appreciate that, and any feedback is welcomed, so please leave a comment below, let me know if you are enjoying this content. And yeah, I shall wrap it up. I shall wish you well wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, and yeah, I shall say goodbye. So adios, and I shall catch you on the next one. Ciao for now. It's always nice to end the day on an image that you really like. And I was really happy with this end image. The light was nice, the crisscrossing of the limestone rocks, everything seemed to fall into place, and I was really happy with the final image of the day.